Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Greg West here back at Black Community Blackboard page on YouTube. Like we come to you regularly now. We started off as a once a week project, but now that we have so many people that are involved and that we have enough people to highlight where we're doing more than one show a week. Tonight, we're going to get into this young man, Alvin Wilkerson, his story and everything that he's doing in the community. But like we always talk about before we get into the interview, it's like this page is really dedicated to us getting our narrative out there about our hidden gems and the people who are doing positive things in the Black community. It's no longer time for us to let the media portray us for what they want to do. We have to break down the stigma and let everybody know that we are doing some positive things in our community, but it's always going to take more help and more work. That being said, if you would like to have somebody highlighted on the show, you can have us. You can reach out to us at blackcommunityblackboard@gmail.com, and we would love to interview anybody that's doing something positive in our community. If you would like to support this page, it will be in there. I mean, it will be in the description how you can the PayPal, the Venmo, and also the Cash App. If you just want to come out and hang out with us, we welcome that too. The whole thing is about getting the content out. That being said, tonight's guest is Alvin Wilkerson. He's a lifelong Dayton resident. Grew up on the west side of Dayton. Graduated, went to, as I just found out, he's a W.S. McIntosh Award winner, which is a good thing. He also went to University of Dayton, got his engineering degree over there. Right now, he has a couple things going on. He's very involved in the community with cooperative community and worker-owned and makerspace center in West Dayton that's about to take root. So, with that being said, introduce yourself, please, Alvin, and talk a little bit about yourself before we get into the projects that you got going on.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for doing this. Definitely appreciate you. We need people like this highlighting what's going on in our community and pretty much doing what you said, like telling our narrative from our own voice. So yeah, like you said, my name's Alvin Wilkerson, born in West Dayton, went to school around Dayton, got the McIntosh Scholarship, went to University of Dayton, came out in mechanical engineering. So I work for an automotive firm here locally. And I'm also one of the founding members of the Westside Makerspace project. So our goal is to create a worker and community-owned makerspace in West Dayton. And a makerspace is basically, you're thinking a space where people can come, collaborate, use equipment that as an individual, you might not be able to necessarily buy yourself. And then, if you wanted to start an entrepreneurship business or support a venture or just do a passion project, you can do that here. So that's in a nutshell what a makerspace is.
When you say equipment, what kind of equipment are you speaking of?
Now, the equipment in a makerspace, it'll be like you're thinking CNCs, 3D printers. It can range from that all the way to sewing equipment. If you were looking to make banners or signs, it can be vinyl cutters, laser cutters. Like if you want a good idea of what like more type of equipment that we're speaking of, you can look on our website, the westside
Okay, so, where are you guys looking to locate at?
We want to locate in West Dayton. Right now, at the new West Branch Library that's being built, we have about a year that they're going to allow us to use their opportunity space to do that as a pilot makerspace. So we want to build that to give the community a feel for like what is possible at a larger makerspace. And after that, we want to move to what is being developed at the right hangars right now, right there off 3rd Street.
Right.
We want to move over there and have a relatively large makerspace with equipment that can range, the possibilities could range, that's for the community to decide. So we definitely outreach into the community. I just want to put this in right now that we're having our first community meeting this coming Thursday, March 11th. So if you can join that, you can see how like your voice can be heard and how it can shape this space as we develop it.
Right, and I'll make sure that that's in the description too. When we that way they can go on Eventbrite and register and everything. Let them know that it's free And you
Oh
know,
yeah,
and
it's
that's
free
the
and it's
thing.
virtual,
Right.
you
It's
know.
virtual and it's free. And, you know, that's one thing I appreciate working with people like you and
Hmm.
myself and other people who always try to make this information and these things free for the community.
Hmm.
You know, people don't understand it takes money to run it, but we still want to make it as affordable or free for the
Hmm.
community so we can get your involvement. So,
Hmm.
what made you want to get into mechanical engineering?
Well, I kind of just I always like math and science, but growing up in Dayton, I guess a little bit about the backstory behind it. Like I can remember back in the '90s growing up, where as just a young black kid growing up in Dayton, I'm looking at what my family's doing, and I see, a lot of stuff in automotive. I see a lot of like, and it wasn't even in the engineering side; it was the line workers, and I thought that's where I would progress into, either that or the military. When you growing up young and black, sometimes you see the military as an option, or you see GM, or Delphi or something like that. That's where most of my family was doing. If you was taking a good path.
Right.
So after like I got in high school and started to buckle down a little bit more, I started to see college, as an option, and they started to recruit, the different fields, and engineering was one that they pushed us. Like, if you go here, you can make a, pretty decent wage, you can have a more comfortable life than my middle school self thought I would have. So, and then I progressed and got the Macintosh scholarship, and then went into the engineering program and kind of just stuck with that. Yep.
Mm. So I know that Macintosh, that was a world of a difference. You didn't have to pay for anything except for your own food when you went and hung out with your friends. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that would make it easier for me to make a choice I think if I wanted that what degree I would pursue, because anybody from around here know UD is not a cheap school.
It ain't. It ain't. It definitely. Yeah, that definitely helped out. That was a big determining factor. I was looking at yeah, no matter where else I went, I would have had some subsidy, some grants, and I was doing scholarships and doing that whole circuit. But yeah, that Macintosh scholarship definitely helped out. And it also has some other perks. You get to work throughout the city in different departments.
Right.
So that kind of like, even like being from Dayton, being able to like work in the different departments, it kind of got me to spread out even more around Dayton. And I think after graduating, I would travel here and there, but I don't know, some just kept me here. I mean, growing up here and seeing the inequities and experiencing different, traumas here, and just having a history here, it kept me here. And I think it also like, it's what makes the desire to want to start something like a makerspace strong in me, because I see like the impacts that a makerspace can have on our community.
Right. So look, let's talk a little bit more about this worker on makerspace. What
Mm-hmm.
gave you the idea of wanting to start that here on the west side? Let's talk a little bit about that. What was your
Well,
initiative, and what was the thing that really pushed you for that?
the idea came about after we graduated. We all went into jobs, a lot of me and my friends, and um, after you graduate, you don't have no place to really do like practice any like passion projects, or no place to learn or further learn or anything like that. So we wanted to come together and group all of our tools into a common place and just have like a little like workshop, if you will, where we just go and kick it and work on projects and be able to collaborate and innovate. Some of us had ideas of stuff we wanted to do, side hustles and things we wanted to build. So I think that's another thing that got me into engineering, this desire to want to build and innovate and, do different things like that. So we did that. We built a little shop, and at the same time, I was getting involved and became a Gym City Market member, and looking at them how they solve, another problem that plagues our communities. Our communities being food deserts. And just seeing how if people come together, the impact you can have with collective, development. And then we had this idea for having this space for ourselves to do projects, and it kind of just morphed into like, how can we make this something that can really impact West Dayton? and provide a place where the whole entire community can come
Right.
and you can learn new technologies. You can, refine your skills, or if you're a small business owner, it can help you, succeed and access equipment. How can we bring that to the whole community? And thus, we started the Makerspace. And then from there, we also went into the Co-op Dayton, and they're the organization that helped get Gym City Market going. They have an incubator. So if you're a group of people and you got an idea for a business and you think you can do it collectively, which most businesses you can do collectively, look up Co-op Dayton, because they're a good resource for co-op development, collective development. But anyway, we went into the incubator as a small team, and we went through the incubator, and now we're trying to launch the co-op.
Okay. Now I know that we're involved with, doing some work together in the community, where we're trying to find out, like you were saying, how can we come together and try to make, sort of like what I like to call it, a small Black Wall Street here in Dayton, So like some of the ideas that we were kicking around the other day when we were talking, what if we could do that? Say if we could just do it right now, what would be some of your ideas that you would see that are most needed on the west side of Dayton that will help our community and also help our youth?
I think it's some good examples. I know in Jackson, Mississippi, I'm trying to think of the book, but the Cooperative Jackson, they started developing a lot of co-ops to address some of the needs, that the community has. Like one of them was like no manufacturing and no jobs, poor workforce development, which is going to be a focus of the Makerspace. You got food deserts, so more cooperative grocery stores. And actually, when we went through the co-op incubator, there was another team with, I had to pass on some more contacts of people you can interview, but another team developing another grocery store, and you had a team of a team of doulas looking to develop a cooperative doula collective. So just businesses like that address needs that plague our community. I think that's what we should focus on developing for sure.
If a young black male or a young black woman would like to get into engineering, what would be your advice to them? Or
I think that's another reason for the Makerspace. I mean, my advice to them would be like, because I think back to where I was, where, I think growing up in my community, where I used to play with a ton of kids, like it was a lot of us, it was a gang of us. But then I think of like how many of us went to college, and it's like two of us, and rest in peace. The other girl that went to college, she passed away. But those ratios in our communities of who goes to college, like that's a problem, but it's a problem that's not addressed. I think one of the reasons it's a problem is like what you're exposed to. Like I think of by happenstance, the different people that came into my life, like not even in my family, but they exposed me to something, that led me in a direction that I went in. So a makerspace can be a place where you expose, young Black kids to technologies and, the idea that they can be an entrepreneur, right, and these different concepts that otherwise the system ain't set up to really expose them to that.
Right. And that's why I'm glad we have you on here so that, like if a young man or young woman sees this, they can see somebody that looks like them and say, okay, if he can do it, I can do it. That's one of the reasons why, I like to have this whole platform, because, we've interviewed different people, entrepreneurs. We have, like the one thing that I appreciate is the ones that come on and for to help kick in a young man's or a young woman's mind that it might be over in the West Side, and what I'm saying, and thinking that there's no possibility I can do that. And then they see someone like you, they see someone like, if they want to get into construction, they see someone like me, because a lot of times people don't even realize that what I do for a living is a good paying job, that doesn't require college. We call, the apprenticeship project, it's like college, because you work, you're doing it for a few years, but they need to see this so that they understand it's more than just hanging out on the block and doing nothing. Because right now Dayton is After GM pulled out, you know what we're going through here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so we
Yep, it's a problem.
right. So like what else is on the horizon for you though, Alvin?
Right now, after we do the community event, we're looking to further refine what the makerspace will be, and in towards the end of November, towards the end of this year, we want to launch into the West Branch of the library. So we want to be offering some physical, like some services. We want to be offering some classes. We want the community to help us shape, what that'll be. Like we have ideas of what type of services and classes we want to offer, but we really want to get the community input.
Okay. Are there any other organizations or clubs you belong to that are helping the West Side out?
Right now with the makerspace, we're working with um, the Westwood Collective. We're taking in members from different community organizations. So if you're a leader in the community, we've been contacting a lot of the, leaders in the community and looking for people to join our team. Um, Similar to how Gem City Market and other co-ops get started, we're looking to build our team amongst members of the community. We want this to be a real community-driven effort, to decide what the space will have.
I know I have tomorrow. I have a meeting over at the Wesley Center with the executive director. I'll bring your name up if you haven't already
Oh
talked to
yeah.
him. Might even do a call while I'm there because that's he's trying to really make
Mhm.
that a hub for us on the West Side because it's a good community center deep on the West Side where we need some community involvement over there. So that might be a good partnership also for us for you.
Yep, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I know. I left a message for him. So I think just last week. So yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah, because we definitely want to like start getting classes out because the makerspace won't be just for kids, but it'll be like for everybody in the community. Like we don't want there to be like we don't want there to be this stigma that after school, creativity and wanting to, learn new stuff and innovate just dies. We want it to be like everybody can come to this space, access it, access the tools and resources. And we see it as a space where it'll be for entrepreneurs, but it can also be how do you gain those skills like you spoke of to solve everyday problems or take it into get a new job, get a job, so workforce development. So it's like thinking technology and move into, you know, this next wave of technology that's going to be important where, as you can see, we don't have Delphi's anymore. We don't have GMs and all of those jobs that's gone. And if we just looking for that, I mean, the corporations who own that, they have no incentive to bring that back here for real. So the next wave is going to be, the advancements in computers and 3D printing and, manufacturing and stuff like that. But also, you still need those practical skills like plumbing and welding. You
Right.
need all of this in your community. But you see a decline in apprenticeship programs. That's not, decline in the funding for those. And you also do see a decline in, or you don't see a lot of programs in our public schools that are promoting this futures technologies and the coding and there's things that are going to be relevant here in the future. But if you go out into suburban schools, I don't know.
Right.
It's gonna be might be a little bit different.
Well, it ain't gonna be.
Yeah,
It might be.
yeah.
We keep
I
it.
know you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
we keep it 100 on here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we already know what we're dealing with, and that's why
Hmm.
I appreciate what you're doing and other people like you. Because if we keep on waiting on the establishment to come and save us, like they keep on, like they come and promise us every 2 years and every 4 years when they want
Mm.
our votes, we're going to keep on staying in the same boat that we're going to be in. So it's up to people like yourself who have the knowledge and is not afraid to come back and give it to people and make it available for them because that's what's
Hmm.
going to turn it around. I agree with you that manufacturing, like we've seen, it won't happen again. It's up to the entrepreneurs and the smaller businesses. So let's talk a little bit about this. A lot of people might not know what 3D printing is. They hear it, but they don't really understand what that is. Could you explain that a little bit to them?
So 3D printing is pretty much, and Like it's getting broader, you know, day by day, what you can do with it. But it's pretty much you have a machine that can take plastic and extrude it and make a part. So you can make you can make a cup, you can make a car part, you can make, you know, the possibilities are endless. And now they're getting more involved where you can make prosthesis, you can make, you know, they're 3D printing organs, they're 3D printing houses. Like this technology is just exploding. But, you know, and that's just like, if you think about future technologies, that's just one leg of it. You know, it's like all of these other areas that, you know, people in, you know, divested communities we're just not exposed to, you know, where people don't even know what 3D printing is. Like, you know, even coming out of engineering, I had nowhere where I can go and learn what 3D printing came after I came out of school. There's no places in my community where I can go and like learn new stuff, new technologies, you know? So we want the makerspace to be that space where it can expose people to new technologies, where, you know, everybody in our community can learn about, you know, how do we become players in this evolving industry. But we also want to highlight, you know, the creatives that are already in our community. We got people who are on the grind, starting soap making businesses, candle making businesses. We got culinary makers, people doing this out of their homes. And they just got to grind and figure out the entrepreneurship side of it, and has their home or their kitchen as a test and prototype place. And they're just doing this all by themselves, where a makerspace can be a place where you can come use equipment that's state of the art, where you can use this place as your test and prototype place. You know, as we evolve, we hope it can be a place where you can rent a studio and run your business out of the makerspace. And we can also have like things like vinyl cutters to make your own banners, and a print center and a shipping center. And this would be another way where we can start keeping some of our dollars in our community. Like, you know, you go on Etsy to buy candles and all of these handcrafted products, where we can probably be supporting somebody who's in West Dayton doing woodworking or making candles. You know, we can support that person's business, and we can support an ecosystem that can create more people like that.
So, you know, I mean, what people don't realize is like to take this from the planning stage to making a reality is going to take some funding. So,
Mm.
how do you plan on gathering your funding and your capital to run this?
Yeah, just to even get it to the stage where, you know, we can like morph this into an idea, you know, took a lot of market research and going out and seeing what makes these spaces, you know, work. So now we definitely want to continue like Gym City Market did, where we get funding from the community and start to build this ourselves. But we also want to go and get partners with people who want to support this type of development, where we're in this phase of like, you do have people out there who see these inequities that COVID has highlighted, you know, and, you know, it's often it's like you can see a problem, but there's no visible solution. So you just have the opportunity to just overlook it. So our goal is to do the work to give a visible solution to a big problem in our communities. And now the people who want to partner and who want to help really solve a problem, you have, you know, a framework of like how we can solve a problem in our community. And I think the makerspace can be a solution to some problems that plague us for real.
So, just a little brief synopsis of the agenda that you will be having Thursday. So, you know, when
Mhm.
we log on and everything, what will we be looking forward to?
Yeah, when you log on Thursday, we want to introduce you to the team for sure, like who we are, give a recap of some of the work we've done. Um, and then after that, so we'll do a little icebreaker. Hopefully everybody can get to know each other. We want to have a good turnout of people from West Dayton, especially if you're a maker of some sorts. We want you to come out and help build this space. And then we're going to go into breakout sessions. And the main question will be, after you get a little bit more of an understanding of what a makerspace is, we might show some examples of some successful makerspaces to give a little bit of framework. We want people in breakout rooms to start discussing, what do you think a makerspace, how can a makerspace help West Dayton? So you're thinking of what services a makerspace should provide, what equipment a makerspace should have, and just start generating some discussion around that. And then we'll come back and share, and then close the event with how you can continue to follow the Westside Makerspace, how you can get involved, and how you can support the project. And I just want to note, this is our first monthly meeting, so we plan to have ongoing community meetings. So it'll be the first Thursday of the month at 6 p.m. So we plan to continue virtual meetings and just grow the support, grow the people involved, grow the number of people who are saying that this is wanted in the community. That way there won't be a reason where they can say a solution to some of these problems wasn't presented,
Right. Yeah, so that's a good idea, and I like the way that you're talking about doing this. And so you saying you're going to be doing it like the co-op, excuse me, off the model of the Gym City market. So what would you be looking for memberships to run like they did at the Gym City? I know how you could get a membership for over there, buy a share, and that would be your membership for like $100 or something. Are you trying to make it affordable like that, or you have other plans?
Well, we'll have community memberships. So it'll be like you get a share where you can get voting rights. And we're going to further refine this with the community. But you'll have a monthly membership, which will be more like a subscription. So you subscribe to come to the makerspace. And we're thinking once we get into the, 15,000 plus square foot space, it'll be like a monthly subscription where you come or you pay a certain amount. And we'll have to, further define that with the community. And you'll have access to the space. So you'll be able to come in, use the equipment, take classes, that sort of thing. And for additional costs, if you were like an entrepreneur, we want to have studio space. So if you needed a space in the makerspace where you can, do your work, your craft, whatever that may be, you can rent some studio space.
So for the people who are, are interested, let me share my screen real quick. Go on in, it will be in the description tomorrow when you guys see this, and make sure that you go on Eventbrite and look for www.eventbrite.com/e/work/Westside Makerspace. It will all be in our description. But please register for this, because there's a lot of good things he's got going on, and he has a breakdown of what the community is. What the event would be about and all of that. And when I post this for you guys, share it with the community, because this is a community involvement thing. It's no longer where we could talk about nobody's doing anything. When we're providing the information for you, get involved. Because that's where I'm at with it, Alvin. I'm one of the ones. I got involved with politics and I got involved with the community because I got tired of seeing people on Facebook complaining, but they didn't have a viable solution for it. And I found myself saying, well, if I'm calling them out and I'm not doing anything, I'm just as bad as the ones who are doing the complaining. So what am I going to do about it? So I appreciate you stepping up and doing this, man. It's very important. So like we discussed that stuff, but like I say, where do you see the West Side? Which direction would you like to see us moving into in the next 5 years? As far as because we know manufacturing, we might get some small manufacturing back, but what direction do you think we need to move in to help our community heal to a point where we're not hurting as bad as we are now?
I think it's in this cooperative development direction, whether that be maker spaces and grocery stores, just people doing a lot of what you're doing, of just highlighting people in the community who are just striving for change, and putting those people out there and giving them and letting that be something that other people can come get behind. If you're looking specifically for like industry wise, I'm thinking supporting businesses and some of the things that people are already doing. People are already innovating out of their houses. You know, people have a desire to create, but I feel like Black people get this stigma of we won't create or we won't innovate or we won't do this because there's a lack of resources, you know. But a lack of resources that doesn't correlate, you know, to a lack of want and desire, you know. And I feel like if we start putting these resources and things for people to get behind in the community, you know, I think you know, Dayton could be a place where you start to see innovation and creativity come out of here, you know, that could shock the world, you know, because we did it once before.
Right.
You know, Dayton used to be a place where, you know, world renowned things happened here that shaped the whole world.
Right.
You know, where we want the makerspace to be is in, you know, the heart of West Dayton, and it's in the right factory, you know. You're in the same area where you have Paul Lawrence Dunbar and all these Dayton creatives, you know. And, you know, I think that creativity, that innovation, all of that stuff is still in Dayton. So definitely want to highlight that. And I feel like, you know, we can start seeing some of these things take root.
And I agree with you. We had a spirit. It's about having an initiative to follow that spirit. You know, like in the early 1900s, a lot of technology, like you say, everything from the automatic car started and everything, it was right here in Dayton. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we're known for the birthplace of flight and everything. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
Wright flyers were built right there where you're trying to move to. You know, a lot of parts for it and everything. So we have the right spirit. It's about like having people like you to take the initiative to, you know, started it, because I believe that, you know, we will move into the future and change the world again with some of the technology that some of our young Black men and women in our community are are sitting on right now because they don't think that it can be a reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
and
Yep. Some of the best ideas probably just live and die in communities like West Dayton because they, you know, the system isn't set up for those people to, you know, support their ideas and their dreams and for that to flourish, you know. It's only set up for, you know, those people to get so far, you know. And I think that's one of the things that I'm real passionate about changing.
and if you're passionate about changing it, other than this, how do you plan on helping change that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do I help on change that?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, by offering like some of the things that was offered to me by happenstance, you know, by being by not only like by hopefully being a person, but having like this place where people can come and see, you know, people like them, you know, with similar ideas or trying to do similar things or trying to learn, you know, new skills or whatnot, and having a place where people can come to collaborate. I think that is going to be one of the main things that help change, you know, our community and this narrative that's placed around, you know, Black people.
Right. And you know, one thing I've come to understand in my life, we don't get anywhere without the help of others. Who were some of the people that like helped shape your ideals that, you know, change your thinking that you could go from um not just going to the service and, you know, having a future? Who were some of the mentors or some of the people that you looked up to growing up that helped turn you into the young man that you are?
My mom for sure. She just kept me exposed to stuff. You know, she would drive me out to different communities to expose me to stuff. And I think that's where at an early age, you know, I start seeing like not only like, you know, disparities, you know, but you know, um, mainly just start seeing the disparities. Like when you drive out to Centerville and then have to come back to West Dayton. Like when I'm in West Dayton with my friends, if I'm not exposed to Centerville, I think this is life, you know, because this is what I know. But then I go out and see like, you know, how the other side lives, you know, and then that kind of I don't know, it's just seeing that difference, you know. Um, that made me like desire to want to like bring stuff back to West Day and bring stuff back to my community. Um, so my mom, you know, keeping me exposed to different things. My dad, you know, as I was growing up, some of the stuff that, you know, even as he was teaching me when I was younger, I might have took for granted, whether that be like, and we did it out of survival, you know, whether that be changing brakes, you know, fixing stuff around the house, you know, just that stuff we couldn't afford to pay for and just having to do it ourselves. You know, I feel like that gave me a certain type of, you know, spirit of being able to make stuff on my own and fix stuff by myself. So I appreciate that. And then just throughout different organizations growing up, whether that be after school programs, the Boys and Girls Club, you know, just different people coming into my life, instilling different things, you know, to push me in the direction that I went into. We had a program at UD some of the people there, um, you know, making engineering seem more of an option for me. So
Okay. And I appreciate, like I said, I really appreciate you coming out tonight and taking the time, you know, talk about your project and everything. And I mean,
mhm.
I'm looking forward to getting involved and helping out any way I can, and we're going to do a follow up after you get started, and maybe, probably have you come on in a couple months, talk about how the momentum is going, where the growth is. That way we can keep on putting the word out for people to get involved, because I know it's going to
Mm.
take a lot of community help to make this thing sustainable and also a reality. So, we're looking forward to helping you and supporting you any way we can, and like I say, now that I got your invite to join our Facebook page, we're trying to
Mm.
develop a community Blackboard calendar so that we know what every organization is doing, so we can have it running calendar on there. And I talked to a couple of people, possibly just setting up a website with nothing but dedicated to events that are going on
Mm.
in the community, so that people can go on there and be like boom and see what's happening. So I'm looking forward to making sure that we help get your word out about this organization, helping you out any way we can, getting the word out. You feel free to contact me at any time if you think that we need to do a follow-up to talk about the progress, or even little 5 minute 10 minute things to put on the YouTube channel, just so people can know what's going on or how they can subscribe or whatever. We're all in to help you out any way we can, Alvin.
Yeah, most definitely appreciate that. Yeah, definitely appreciate that. And let me know if we can help you out in any way. The Makerspace has helped out a couple different other businesses and cooperatives. We do shared services, so we can share services back and forth. You know, we more than willing to do that. I think that's one of the things that's going to get us ahead. Is doing stuff like you're doing. You know, having calendars where people can see what's going on, businesses helping one another. You know, our people helping one another, share services, and just looking for ways we can support one another. So most definitely.
In closing, is there anything you would like to tell the community?
Just come out. We're looking to hear the community's voice this Thursday and every first Thursday of the month after at 6 p.m. We're doing the Westside Makerspace community meetings. Um, we're currently in a flyer pitch event, so we're competing for $10,000 that'll help us start the Makerspace in the West Branch, give us a pilot location where people can come out and start collaborating, and we can keep the project going. So we're looking for the community to join out. And like all cooperative businesses, you know, it will be owned and controlled by the workers in the community. So this is pretty much our makerspace, you know, join the team.
That's right. Alvin Wilkerson, I appreciate you coming down and taking the time, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Please support his event that is going to be this Thursday, March the 11th at 6 p.m. I will have all of this in the description. I know usually after we do the interviews, we don't air them for another day or two, but I'm going to air this tonight. As soon as I get everything put in, and the little flyer that I send out,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to air it tonight. That way we can get as much information out to the community before Thursday. So hopefully it will be a nice showing on the virtual. Remember, to register, you go on Eventbrite. It's a free event. y'all. It's
Mm-hmm.
a free event for
Mm-hmm.
our community. So please, please register, come out. He's looking forward to hearing your input on how he can build this, how we can come together as a community, make this our thing, just like we made the co-op helped us make Gym City Market our thing. This is what we're talking about: community action together. Everything like this is a part of what we need to be doing. We can no longer keep on waiting on the people downtown to make decisions for us. We have to make the decisions for ourselves, because how many times have we said this is what we need to do and it's falling on deaf ears? We watched them build up downtown. Now it's time for us to take the power back from the people, from them, and keep it in our own community and build up our own side of town. With that being said, like I always like to remind you, if there's anybody you would like to see highlighted here on the Black Community Blackboard channel, please get in touch with us at black community blackboard at gmail.com, and get in touch with us, and we'll try to get their story out there let the people know that there are a lot of people doing positive things in our community. We have young men and women like Alvin that are doing stuff. We don't always have to see these young black men being put in the back of the police car and having people think that's the only thing that we're good for. We know better than that. We have a lot of good people doing a lot of good things in our community. If you would like to support this station, please hit the like button and subscribe. Share with your other friends so that we can get the word out, build the word up, and get the word out and build this channel up so that we can control our narrative. If you would like to make a donation, we're happy. That way we can keep the platform going. It's still going to go on whether or not, but it always makes it easier. With that being said, we'll see you on our next one, which will be Aaron. Our next guest will be Kenya Baker from the west side of Dayton, who's helping do a lot of good things. Looking forward to that interview. And with that being said, you all have a good day, good night, good evening, depending on where you are in the world or what time you're watching this video. All right, thank you.